league. Listen to what legendary NBA player Charles Barkley
I always support the gay community. I always support the transgender community. I got none but love and respect for gay people and transgender people. But under no circumstances do I think men should play.
When Charles Barkley steps into a discussion, the entire sports media landscape stops and listens. And right now, the Hall of Famer is directing his sights straight at the top leadership of the WNBA over a controversy that has completely taken over the league.
Now we got NBA legend Charles Barkley demanding the WNBA do what's right. Cathy, Adam Silver, the whole executive board need to confirm that there is no men playing in this league. They got to do what they got to do to verify that it's only women playing in this league.
The debate has escalated far beyond standard sports commentary, morphing into a full-blown PR nightmare for Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. What started as online chatter has transformed into a high-stakes showdown involving major public figures, former players, and media personalities. At the heart of Barkley's frustration is not just the core debate itself, but how league management has handled the fallout. Instead of issuing a definitive ironclad policy statement weeks ago to set boundaries, executive leadership stayed quiet. That silence created a massive vacuum, allowing rumors, speculation, and viral hot takes to dictate the narrative across social media.
I'm disappointed in Adam Silver and Cathy, the commissioner. First of all, you can't let stupid stuff go out to the internet, which is one of the worst things that ever happened to the world. They should have come out 2 weeks ago before all this, because people are looking for attention now. Just say,
including this guy.
But he has a point, though. Because Cathy and Adam have said, hey, it's in the title, WNBA. We're not going to have transgender people in the WNBA, and we're not going to discuss it again. That's what Adam and Cathy should have done 2 or 3 weeks ago before they turn it over to the internet and every fool, idiot, and jackass to have.
Barkley's point hits at the operational failure of modern sports crisis management. In today's media environment, a delay of 2 or 3 weeks is an eternity. By failing to step up to the microphone immediately, league leadership effectively handed control of their brand story over to internet commentators, algorithms, and outrage cycles. Now, the league finds itself reacting to external noise rather than proactively guiding its own league policies. The narrative has spun so far out of control that outside figures are actively stepping in to force the issue, offering unsolicited solutions to a problem the front office tried to ignore.
No, exactly. I think if the NBA and the task force and obviously the commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, are okay with it, I am offering them a peace summit that is moderated by the one of the best female athlete ever, Caitlyn Jenner. I think she'll be the best person to understand what's going on and moderate the.
Enes Kanter Freedom is now proposing a moderated peace summit featuring Caitlyn Jenner to mediate between critics and the WNBA front office. Whether you view this proposal as a genuine olive branch or a masterclass in media trolling, it highlights just how bizarre this situation has become for a professional sports league trying to protect its product. When third-party figures can publicly lobby to hold summits regarding your league's eligibility requirements, you have lost control of the room. The lack of decisive communication from the top has allowed everyone from podcast hosts to political commentators to weigh in, turning a legal and policy question into a daily circus.
So this is breaking news. So we have a peace deal offer moderated by Caitlyn Jenner.
I actually have a conversation with her last night. She said, "Listen, I love what you're doing. Just whatever you're doing, just count me in. I will do anything to help it." I was like, "Listen, we might offer them a peace summit. Would you be okay to moderate it?" She said, "I'm in."
How can you say no to that?
Exactly.
This entire saga illustrates a classic case of institutional inaction breeding public chaos. The WNBA was established in 1996 and has spent nearly 3 decades building a dedicated fan base, securing landmark media rights deals, and elevating women's basketball onto a global platform. Yet, a lack of clear messaging around league bylaws has left room for critics to point out perceived loopholes. When commentators ask whether the league's rulebook explicitly addresses every hypothetical scenario regarding biological sex and eligibility, they are exposing a vulnerability in sports governance. In modern athletics, ambiguity is the enemy. Without a crystal clear, updated, and publicly stated policy, every quiet room becomes a breeding ground for conspiracy theories.
Y'all want to know why he ain't been banned? Because there is a loophole within their clause to where men could play in the league. Why do they have that gap there? This league has been around for 30-some years, bro. They've been around for a nice little minute. Why is it small loopholes in there? Who is a man already possibly playing in the league that is going to destroy this league if it comes out? See, nobody's thinking about this. Have there ever been a trans man playing?
The mention of potential historical loopholes or unverified claims regarding past players demonstrates how quickly speculation can spiral into extreme territory. When an organization leaves its rulebook open to interpretation, critics will naturally dig through archives, analyze roster histories, and raise hypothetical scenarios that threaten the perceived integrity of the competition. Whether these claims have any factual basis or not, the mere fact that they are being debated on major commentary platforms represents a catastrophic PR breakdown. In professional sports, credibility is everything. Once fans and commentators start questioning the basic framework of who is eligible to step onto the court, the entire competitive foundation is put under a microscope.
Will the WNBA release records showing that there has been no men ever to play in this league? Because if there has been, we talking about a catastrophic explosion within a sports league like we never seen it before. I mean, this is worse than cheating. This is worse than shaving points. This is worse than everything. If they have had men playing with women, oh my freaking God. Could you imagine the storyline? Could you imagine the international backlash that they're going to?
The stakes here extend far beyond internet outrage. The WNBA is currently navigating one of the most critical growth phases in its history, driven by record-breaking television ratings, massive attendance spikes, and unprecedented corporate sponsorships. A sustained controversy surrounding player eligibility and executive silence threatens to distract from the actual basketball being played on the floor. Sponsors and corporate partners value stability above almost everything else. When executive leadership like Cathy Engelbert remains silent while high-profile figures call for commissioner resignations or external peace summits, it creates anxiety in the boardroom. The business side of professional sports demands risk management, and letting a viral debate fester for weeks is the opposite of good governance.
People been going in. One been Emmanuel Acho. He went in on him, bro. Let's watch it.
Weird to me. Like, it's just like you're that desperate for attention that you're literally poking and prodding at the W and individuals that are already disenfranchised. You're poking and prodding at like these different disenfranchised individuals and poking and prodding at the W for the sake of what we get it, Enes. And most people do get it. Like, most people are like, hey, you shouldn't let men in the WNBA. And the counter to that is there are like 7 non-by birth women in professional women's sports.
Sports analyst Emmanuel Acho raised a critical counter-perspective that highlights the tactical side of this entire controversy, the danger of feeding into outrage bait. As Acho points out, figures who thrive on viral attention deliberately poke and prod at leagues and players to elicit an emotional reaction. When active WNBA players engage directly with courtside provocateurs or get drawn into back-and-forth arguments during games, they inadvertently give the provokers exactly what they want: attention, headlines, and validation. In the arena of high-stakes sports, emotional discipline is just as important off the court as it is on the court.
But it's just like, bro, you that thirsty for attention. Now, on the flip side, though, in 2-5, you brought this up about another topic. You can't be that emotional. Like, you can't let Enes, who is intentionally being inflammatory, you cannot let him inflame you so much that during a game, of which you're down, by the way, now you're arguing with a dude who is only there to get your attention. You're letting him win by giving him not only that much attention, you giving him that much energy. Like, the strongest emotion is actually apathy and indifference. When you don't care about somebody, that's when you know you got.
Acho's argument that apathy and indifference are the ultimate power moves highlights the exact trap the league and its players have fallen into. By responding with anger, frustration, or defensive statements, the league elevates what could have been a minor, fringe stunt into a national headline story. If executive leadership had issued a flat, unequivocal policy statement on day one and instructed personnel to ignore external provocations, the news cycle would have burned out in 48 hours. Instead, by allowing the story to breathe, the league gave media outlets and commentary channels weeks of prime content, turning a brief distraction into a persistent narrative dark cloud. The broader lesson here extends to how professional sports leagues handle cultural and policy lightning rods in the digital era. You cannot wait out a viral story in 2026. The internet does not move on simply because an executive team decides not to comment. It fills the silence with louder voices, sharper takes, and increasingly extreme theories. As the WNBA continues its record-breaking season, front office leaders face a defining test. Will they continue to let external commentators dictate the conversation around their league, or will they step up, address the policy questions directly, and re-establish firm boundaries for their sport? Is Charles Barkley right that the league needed to shut this down immediately with a definitive stance, or were executives wise to avoid feeding a viral media circus? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all the latest sports news and commentary, and I will see you in the next video.